right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles, a great millstone, rule well, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. All right. I'm Zahar, Spirit Wind Judah, and this is my first time going live with this AU screen recorder. So, you know, this is actually, I'm doing a screen recorder live. So, if I see a brother says Shalom. All right, so if you could just let me know if you can hear me. All right, just let me know everything's going through. That'll be appreciated. Like I said, this is my first time doing a screen recording. All right, but basically, the Spirit was on me to do another video. Although I just did a live stream earlier, but I felt compelled in the Spirit to do a video. Also, I believe in the Spirit that that's what He wants right now. When I say He, I mean Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, because one of the parts of the restoration of Israel is that we've been directly connected to our Creator, as opposed to basically being restricted to the realm of Esau. All right, so we still have to get our daily bread from Esau. We still have to make a living within his realm, his kingdom. All right, but we're no more subject, all right, spiritually and mentally to Esau. All right, he's not the end all be all. All right, but okay, the water. So basically, I want to go into a live stream, going to be careful what you eat, or really how you eat. All right, so I'm going to get the etymology dictionary, and I'm going to get the word diet. It says diet. It says regular food. All right. It says parliamentary assembly. Also a day's work, a daily food allowance, food. But it also goes into the Latin dieta, which goes into a prescribed way of life. So one of the brothers in our camp, it might have been Priest Abaya, it might have been Ayash, but you should check out their web pages too. I know one is Aka Judah Ba, I believe. All right. And basically, they went into the word diet, and the word diet goes back into a way of life. That's why I entitled the live stream, all right, be careful what you eat, or be careful how you eat, all right? So a way of life, all right? It says to lead one's life, all right? So the way you live your life is a particular diet. Essentially, a diet goes into a lifestyle. So let's see if we could get some scriptures, all right, to sort of go along with that, all right? Let me pull up another tab right quick. All right. Let me get the blue letter Bible. All right, let me turn the notification off. All right, Salat. All right, it says let's see if the scriptures can go into that. All right. Bread. And Shalom to the Akim and Akwakim who are tuning in. All right. This is Isaiah 30:2. This is the scripture I quoted earlier today. Isaiah 30:20. And though Yahweh give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. All right. But the point is that the Most High is going to give us the bread of adversity, showing us that, figuratively speaking, all right, this particular bread in this context is actually going into a lifestyle, all right? And when I say figuratively speaking, that means basically symbolically. If I were to say literally speaking, that means it's actually what it says it is. But when something is figurative, that means it's symbolic. So in this sense, bread of adversity is symbolic for a way of life that consists of adversity. All right, going back to the going back to the title, be careful what you eat, because the American way is a certain type of life. All right, the American way is a certain type of diet. All right, it's a diet. The westernization, all right, the modern day, these people in America are on a particular diet. All right, And it's a diet, just like the standard American diet. It's a diet that leads to decay. All right. That's why this place, or that's why the first Rome was called decadent Rome. Decadent goes back to decay. Let me see if I can get that right quick. All right. Decadent goes back to decay because it's a lifestyle, all right, that causes decay, not only within yourself, but ultimately within the within that kingdom. All right. So I'm quite sure you've heard of the decadent Roman Empire. Decadent, in a state of decline or decay. All right. From the French, decadent, all right, in reference to literally later other artistic schools that believe or affected to believe. All right, let's go into something else. But decadence goes back to decay. All right. And that's what a poor diet does in a literal sense. A poor diet causes your teeth to decay. It causes your digestive, your internal body, your digestive system, immune system. It really causes decay internally. But how much more a lifestyle? So your lifestyle is likened to a diet that cause in an American lifestyle, it causes decay. All right, deteriorated condition. All right, decadence goes back to deteriorated conditions, decay. All right, it goes back to decaying. All right, to decay. D means away, and it says apart or down. All right, to fall. Cadeter, which means to fall. To fall. So the American lifestyle, or in this sense, figuratively speaking, which is like an American diet, it causes you to fall, all right? Meaning process of falling away from a better or more vital state, all right? Which goes into the word degenerate, all right? I'm going to get the word degenerate. Now, let me get the free dictionary, which I get this word all the time. But, you know, Elder Pascal Park went into a word a long time ago called inculcate, which means you use repetition. If you want Jake to get it, you really use repetition. All right. So decay goes ultimately back to degenerate. All right. Let's see what that word degenerate goes to. All right. And they'll even tell you in the health industry that you have a degenerative disease, a degenerative disease, man. But here's the etymology for degenerate is in the Latin, degeneratus. It says degenerator, to depart from one's own kind. All right. It says to depart from one's own kind, because when we came to America, all right, when I say we, really the southern and the northern kingdom, all right, we embrace something called European colonization. That's why you have Eve and the Ephraimite woman with blonde hair, blue contacts. That's why they religiously get into these careers. All right. But they've departed from their natural way. All right. The ways of their ancestors. All right. Let me get the other one. It says, here's the other etymology from the Latin, degeneratus, to decline from an ancestral standard. So the way that our people live in the Western Hemisphere, or in the Western world, ultimately Esau's kingdom, all right? The way we live here is like a degenerate, it's like you've deviated from the natural diet of our forefathers. And the diet or the ways of our forefathers consisted of the law, statutes, and commandments, okay? The diet of our forefathers consisted of the law, statutes, and commandments, all right? And let's see if we can get something else, all right, that's further going into that. All right, I'm going to get showing you that a lifestyle goes into a diet, or a diet ultimately goes into a lifestyle. Okay, let's if I could get there real quick. This is I just started Genesis 2:15. This is Genesis 2:15. And Yahweh took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it, talking about Adam. And it says, and Yahweh power commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely. So it wasn't talking about freely eating off a tree, like an apple or orange. All right, that was something called it's figurative language. All right, but it's an allegory. All right, it's an allegory. Okay, which allegory goes back to hidden language. All right, because it represents something else. All right, but going back to Genesis 2:15. And Yahweh took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Yahweh power commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. All right? So going to show you that he wasn't talking about a literal fruit. All right? There was a philosophy. All right? There was a philosophy that he was going to eat. All right? There was a philosophy. Okay? Verse 17, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, because how can you literally eat knowledge? For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. And Yahweh power said, it is not good that man should be alone, but I would make him and help me for him. All right? Let me just skip to the point. All right? Let me go to the next chapter. All right? Because it's going to get into them eating basically a certain philosophy, and the philosophy is the source of your lifestyle. All right? Let me just get the point. All right, Genesis 3:1, it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any man of the field, which Yahweh power had made. All right, and that serpent was basically Esau Edom with pigment, all right, in his original state. All right, but he's referred to as a serpent because he had a very subtle nature. All right, he had a very cunning character, all right, personality. And he said unto the woman, yea, but the Most High said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden. All right, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For the Most High knoweth that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes should be open, and ye should be as gods, knowing good and evil. All right? Verse Genesis 3:6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, so what does it mean when it says the tree was good for food? All right, she was enticed by the philosophy, man. Which what you see today in modern America, that's the end result of Eve eating that fruit that she saw that was good, man. Basically, she's sitting on top. Okay, it was a certain lifestyle that was promised to her by this serpent, man. If she ate of that fruit symbolically, okay. It says, Genesis 3:6, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. All right? So it was a philosophy, and this was the beginning of the transgression of Adam, which really caused the decay of the earth and the decay of mankind. All right? Which ultimately that led to the flood. But it all started with them eating a philosophy that gave them a lifestyle that caused them to deviate from the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right? The reason why we're here in America, ultimately, because we ate another philosophy. All right? Going back to us breaking the covenant. All right? We broke the covenant, and it led us here in America, man. But that was like eating of a strange tree, man. All right? That's why the nation of Israel was referred to as like an olive tree, but the Israelite foreigners were like a wild olive branch, man. All right? Because we were consumed within another nation, and we were under their vibration and followed their way of living, man. Okay? But the point is, we deviated from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But that's like into eating strange fruit, man. Okay? So that's why I entitled this live stream once again. All right, be careful how you eat, or be careful what you eat, man. All right, and going back to Isaiah 30:20, the Most High gave us the bread of adversity, showing you that food was compared to a lifestyle, or a lifestyle was compared to food, man. Okay, but you know that's pretty much the point. Let's get ready to draw this live stream to a close. You know, something that was on my spirit. All right, something else I wanted to get to. All right, and I saw that Elder Yashawama got this, and it motivated me to speak on it. Psalms, evil, I-R-U-L-E-R. I was just reading that in Psalms. Let me see if I could get it right quick. All right, just give me 1 second. I can, because this Western way, this American way is like into a diet. All right, that's why I said in Nahum, the nations have drunk enough her wine. All right, therefore the nations are mad. Their wine wasn't the actual wine. All right, they were symbolic for a philosophy that they have adopted that really robbed them, man. All right. All right. It was Proverbs 23:6. Eat not thou the bread of him that have an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. And like the other Yashimama was going into, Esau has dainty meats, man. The king of Babylon, all right, has dainty meats, all right, and going into the processed food. Then if you study his whole kingdom, everything he has is a synthetic simulation of what the Most High created, but it's demonic. It's on the left hand, okay. And one of those things is his processed food. Then it's pharmaceutical industry, because you get sick off the processed food. Then you dependent on those drugs. Now we know now that medicine comes from the earth, all right. But drugs, all right, drugs that he gives you, it takes away pain. And a lot of people there start to get high off those drugs, man. All right, but even with the processed food, it's his dainty meats, but it's very deceptive because it has basically refined chemicals in it to overstimulate you, man. All right, so the average person doesn't have desires to eat fruit and vegetables because Esau made artificial fruit called candy. All right, a lot of times, as a man in America at least, or in the Western world, you'll be more into filth on the internet than actually dealing with a woman. But even with dealing with a woman, Esau made that a dainty meat. He made that dainty. You just have casual sex to somebody ghost somebody. Then, somebody gets pregnant and it's just the baby father and the baby mother. Like, there's no structure. All right, but he made sex and candy, and he made just a lifestyle like a carnival, man. But it's very deceptive. All right, verse 7. For he would think in it, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, said he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. And that's what the king of Babylon is saying. He's saying, obey your thirst. Do what thou wilt. Do what you want to do here in Babylon. But his ultimate goal is to put a damn chip in you, man. All right? And his ultimate goal is to destroy the nation of Israel. His ultimate goal is to say, see, look at them. They're transgressing. All right? Because either Esau's promoting pork or nigger culture. All right? But then he'll go back to the father and say, look, they're deviating. Because he wants their birthright back. All right? Proverbs 23:8. The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up and lose thy sweet words. Speak not. All right, and that's pretty much the point, man. All right? The king of Babylon has dainties, all right, set out for the peasants out here, man. But when we've waking up to our nationality and we not trying to consume his poisons, man. They keep us in a dry, dead, demonic state, man. All right? That's why it says in Isaiah that basically shake thyself from the dust, man. It was like we had been bewitched and poisoned by the king of Babylon, man. At this thing in America, which can come off as a banquet, man. All right, but we've sobered up and realized, man, we got to get the hell up out of here, man. But going back, man, hey, be careful how you eat. It's time for us to change our diet, which is something spiritual, which basically means detach from the ways of the king of Babylon. Detach from this Roman anti-Messiah lifestyle, man. All right? That has seduced so many people. But with that, I hope it said, come, he wants to make the Most High. Let me just click on it. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much get the gist of what you're saying. Basically, they want to take the Most High out the picture, man. They want to take the Most High out the picture, and everything that the Most High created for us, they want to make a synthetic version of it. Because going back to Isaiah 10, I believe, how we'll no more stay upon them that oppress us, but we'll stay upon Yahweh Shema Shai. But the reason why we stayed upon him that oppressed us, because going back to Revelations 12, hey, they shall nourish that woman for a particular time. All right? And he created a false sense of being the Most High. If we were hungry, we went to his grocery stores or his fast food chains. All right, we were sick, we went to his hospitals. All right, we dealt with women based on his way of dealing with women, the Western non-successful way. All right, if we had spiritual thirst, we went to his so-called churches, his groves. All right, but now we stand on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, meaning we're depending on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and that's going to take great faith. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh, the honor to our apostles of great millstone rule well.